Hey folks, I'm Jonathan Taylor, and I just signed another great deal. With UW Credit Union, they give me everything I need: checking with no monthly fees, free online bill pay, surcharge-free ATMs, and a sweet debit card featuring me, Jonathan Taylor.
JT, it's not you on the card.
Oh, right, a sweet debit card featuring Bucky Badger. To sign your own great deal, go to uwcu.org and become a member today. That card will be part of my next contract negotiation.
Hey folks, this is Rob Chappell. I'm the executive editor of Madison365 and the host of the Madison365 Daily Update and the co-host of the daily news podcast, It's Only 10 Minutes. Joining me today are my co-host, Stephanie Díaz de León, who also handles all the events planning for Madison365, and our CEO, Henry Sanders. How you doing, folks?
Good. How are you?
I'm just honored to be on your greatness, this great show. Thanks for inviting me finally on. I finally get to be on the show. I'm just
we don't get very much invited. We get hidden. You talk a lot about us, but you don't really show us.
And everybody knows Stephanie's voice very well.
Sure. Everyone knows Henry. They watch Real Talk. Let's not pretend we don't know who Henry is.
We are here today to make a very big announcement. Henry, you want to tell us what we're here to announce?
Yeah, we're here to announce our new Wisconsin Leadership Summit. We are so excited. This is like, I call it our Super Bowl, right? This is when we get some of the most influential people together for, usually if it's in person, it would be 2 days. Since we're doing it virtual again this year, and we'll get into that why, that's a whole week of panels. And so we're excited about it. We're super excited about this year. It's going to be October 18th. Through the 22nd, and I don't know, it's our Super Bowl. It's lots of talented people who get to educate us and tell their opinions about stuff for 5 days. I'm excited about it. What do you think, Steph?
I mean, I'm excited too. It's a great opportunity for people to really learn about who is a leader within our state that aren't necessarily noticeably always known. We get to lean into our most influential lists and bring them on to really engage with us in terms of giving us information about leadership, about business, about education, health, the health systems and such, especially right now, all of which are impactful and important. We get a perspective on social justice in a way that I think people miss sometimes. And we get a great conversation about our youth of color and where they're going next and such.
Yeah.
And who should attend the Wisconsin Leadership Summit?
People like you, Rob, who need to be educated about issues when it comes to people of color. I think that's a great question. I think everyone should come to this. I mean, if you're someone who's a person of color and you sometimes feel isolated and you feel like you're speaking to yourself a lot of times in your workplace or in your environment, and you just want to know what other people of color are feeling or seeing, doesn't feel like you're part of the home team sometimes, I think it's a perfect place for you to go and kind of get that family feel. That's part of the fam, like have that family feel for us. But I also think if you're an ally and you're someone who just wants to learn and educate yourself on issues from an authentic person of color perspective, that might be different from a book you might have read or a blog you might have read, but actually hearing it from people of color's experiences, it'd be a great place for you to go and just listen and participate and watch and learn and ask yourself some tough questions about what you're hearing. So I think those are the type of things. And if you're young, like you're younger and, it's living in the state of Wisconsin, you're one of the few when you're a person of color and you want to look for a mentor or someone who can give you advice on how they navigate or assist being a person of color, be a perfect place for you to go and get content and listen to, get some wisdom.
Yeah, like Henry said, this is, not only for those of you who are like you, Rob, who want to learn and listen. Once again, this is a set of panels from our influential lists. So these are all people of color who are on our panels. The only summit that we're aware of that is completely people of color, across the board with regards to our panels and panelists and moderators. And it's an opportunity, like he said, to build affinity, right? It's hard to get to know other people of color in this space, in the state, right? But it also feels like a homecoming for some of us. We don't get to see each other across the state. every single time. And this is an opportunity for us to connect again with each other and remember that we are strong, that there are many of us, and that we have affinity for each other.
Yeah, and I think also I say it's the most multi-ethnic, multicultural platform that you will see Summit. I mean, we're just not just for a Black community, it's for everyone, and that's very unique also about our Summit.
And as a white person and ally, I think that was what struck me immediately at the first summit back in 2018. That like this is a place where the people of color are speaking, and I'm here to listen, and I'm here to learn, and that's unusual. It shouldn't be unusual, but it really is. So let's talk about going virtual. We've done it twice in person. We did it virtual last year for obvious reasons, and we've been mulling this over, right? We've been thinking about what to do, how to approach this, watching the COVID data and everything. So what was the motivation behind finally making the call to go virtual?
Yeah, this was tough. I think as a team, we discussed this a lot. Stephanie and I talked about this a lot, about making sure that we can give people the best experience that they can get and they deserve, and recognize also because of COVID and the pandemic that people have not been around each other a lot. And so we really, our instincts were like, let's get people around each other and get us back into that family environment, because experience is something you can't explain until you're in that environment around your peers. I mean, it's just, you have to be there. It's just a different feel. But we also recognize, and you and Steph know this better, probably a lot of other people in the state, because you do so much of a wonderful job for us keeping up with these data and the COVID numbers, with the variance going on and the increase. We also had to respect the science of what was going on and make sure that we want to keep our people, our viewership, our people who'd be attending safe. And I think if we start looking at the data, looking at the variance, and looking at all the things, places we might want to go, space requirements, and how big it could be, how people to attend, that we had to do the safe thing for our community, for our fam, to make sure that they were safe. And so we decided to do it virtually. It was a tough decision. I mean, we waited for the last minute to make this decision.
We did.
So we all would love to be around people, but I think we just have to be safe. Look at the numbers. We just had to be safe, and so we did that virtual.
I mean, we intentionally waited into getting into July to see what all our rates were at, what our variants were at, where we were, and who would be most impacted by us, being in person. And if something was like, if there was an outbreak and such, we don't want to have people to continuously have to pivot in every single aspect of their life, including any professional development they want to do. So let's just make the decision for them now, right? Let's just make it as easy as we can, accessible as we can too, because that's the other thing too. Now we're a little bit more accessible than we were. That's one thing that we learned about being virtual, this past year, was that now anybody could view us at any point, during their day when they have capacity to do so. And that's really important. And look, the fall, as we're heading into fall, it's going to be a stressful year. So let's make it easy for people. Let's make sure that they don't have to sacrifice one thing for another thing, right? And, we work with a lot of people, a lot of panelists, a lot of viewers, a lot of people who come and register who are multi-generational in their households. So let's make sure that we're protecting that family. We mean it when we say we're fam. We're going to protect your family too, just in case, right? We want to do the safest thing, the best thing, the thing that we can do well at, and have the most people be able to participate and make sure that it's reasonable and approachable for them too.
Yeah. So we're sad about it. We're sad about that we have to be virtual. We're not sad about the event. I mean, we're still excited about it. It's still going to be over 25 panels. I mean, 5 days of content. We have choice of work. We're going to do a lot of wonderful stuff. It's going to be a great experience that you're probably not going to get anywhere else. But yeah, we will miss seeing people and all that. And I'm a hugger too, so I like seeing people hugging.
You are a hugger. Nobody You are. And if that's the thing too. Like, what if we have to keep distancing? That means we have to lessen our numbers of people that come in. Like, how many people are going to feel comfortable hugging still, right? They may have this summer, but what about in fall as the summer goes on? Like, things change, and we want to make sure that we keep people safe. That's our main goal.
So let's talk logistics a little bit. You can go right now to WisconsinLeadershipSummit.com to register. We're keeping it very affordable, right? What are the prices that we tell them?
So $49 is the main registration. So for the price of $49, you can register for the summit itself. And then it is $29 for anybody who works in nonprofit or in the state, system, government system, and $19 for students.
And again, though, those prices are a lot cheaper than our normal prices would be in person. But I want to reiterate this, though. 25 panels over 5 days, all people of color, all moderators of color, content, topics you're probably not going to hear people of color talk about ever, and authentic voices. We have a choice award, Wisconsin Choice Awards. I mean, it's going to be an experience. It's going to be a lot in those 5 days. There's definitely a lot of value, is my point, that you're going to get. And it's going to be an authentic experience, even down to the music and everything we do. It's an authentic experience.
Yeah, and part of the reason why we kept the pricing what we did was it because we were trying to lessen, what our content is that we want the most people who want to come to be able to come, period, as best that we can. We're just covering costs here because we also understand that a lot of businesses, a lot of state, local nonprofits have had to cut their professional development budget, right? So that means that this is coming out of a pocket for our registrants. We want to make sure that we make it available for them so they can still come and enjoy it and learn something and feel affinity, throughout this week.
And it is, we bill it as a professional development, networking, and community building event. So it is a professional development opportunity. Ask your employer to see if they'll cover it, and if not, we hope it's affordable. And also, if you are a business or an organization, we have sponsorships available, and you can reach out and put your identity on it alongside the sponsors that you saw at the beginning of this video. So it's exciting. Oh, Henry, you also mentioned the Community Choice Awards. We'll have the Wisconsin Leadership Community Choice Award nomination process starting very soon. So watch for that. Watch our social media. Watch your email for that. Anything else you guys want to mention about the summit?
I mean, I think I do want to mention our sponsors. Once again, thank you to UW Credit Union for being the presenting sponsor for this year. We appreciate your affinity, your sponsorship, your continuous service, in terms of promoting and amplifying these kinds of events.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
And then again to CUNA and American Family Insurance for continuously being with us. They are, our OG sponsors, our original sponsors when we first started the summit.
You're right. The OGs.
And we remember them. They're OG sponsors.
OGs.
Because they fam. They're all fam. But
fam CUNA were there in the beginning.
Yep.
Right.
They were with us from the beginning. They continue to come back and sponsor us and allow us to do this again. And we appreciate that help and that support continuously because it has an impact and it helps us keep those costs down in such a way that we can present this to as many people as we can.
All right, Henry Sanders, CEO, Stephanie Díaz de León, events manager, director of outreach and engagement.
You don't know my title.
Everything, data analyst, podcast co-host.
Steph is so much. What you can't even give Steph a title? Like, what do you give her?
We don't even remember who I am.
Right. Thank you for giving us a little time to make this big announcement. Everybody go to WisconsinLeadershipSummit.com to register right now. Have a great day.